What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So today I've got a pretty interesting video. I think I might have found a stock that I think could be a pretty big turnaround play over the next maybe 1 to 2 years, but anything outside of that, I really don't like it as a long-term investment. But right now, I think Wall Street is kind of not really seeing this one, and I think it could be a true turnaround stock. Now, this isn't one of the sexiest stocks out there. It's not like it's some groundbreaking tech company that's, changing the world and they're growing revenues by 50, 80, 100%. It's not one of those companies, but I do think that they have the potential to see higher than normal growth over the next, like I said, 1 to 2 years. And anything other than that is kind of up in the air. But in the foreseeable future, I definitely think that this stock has the potential to massively turn around on us. So the mystery stock that I'm going to be talking about is Turtle Beach. Now, if you're a gamer, then you've probably already used their products, but if you're not, they basically are known for their gaming headsets. And if you guys want to do further DD on them, they do trade under the ticker symbol HEAR. So let's get into the format of today's video. The first thing I'm going to talk about is two major tailwinds that I believe are going to really be the turnaround drivers for them. And I'm also going to show some historical data to back up those claims. Then we'll get into the business models so that if you're not familiar with them, at least this way you have some sort of understanding of what they do and just how dominant they are in the accessories market. Then we'll get into the third quarter results where you'll kind of get a good sense of just how fast they're starting to grow, because they did grow revenue in the third quarter by more than 100%. So you're definitely going to want to stick around for the entire video because there's a lot I'll be covering in it. And finally, we'll be talking about the valuation because I do think that plays a key part in the turnaround aspect for this company as well as the business, because they do have a lot of growth drivers coming in the future. But the valuation is definitely looking very attractive, and I will be diving deep into why I believe that. So if you guys also think that this could be a possible turnaround stock, then be sure to smash the like button because it really helps out the video, especially with the YouTube algorithm. And if at the end of the video you guys like what you saw, then be sure to subscribe to the channel because I will be dropping videos every Saturday and Sunday moving forward. So let's get into today's video. So as we all know, the work from home trends have given a major boost to many companies and industries as more people are forced to work virtually. This has led to more than a 30% expected increase in the sale of headsets for Turtle Beach and is really a strong tailwind that could continue into 2021 and maybe even longer if this becomes the new normal, which I personally believe it could be. Now, the second tailwind, in my opinion, is the biggest reason I like this company as a turnaround play. If you go back to 2018 when Fortnite was just beginning to blow up, there was a massive rise in the number of gaming headsets sold thanks to the rise in popularity of battle royale games. This directly correlated with new headset sales for Turtle Beach since they do own more than 40% market share of gaming headsets sold. So real quick, before I get to the main point, I want to show you what happened the last time there were major tailwinds for Turtle Beach stock. If we go back to 2013 when the last generation of consoles were released, we can see there was a massive run up going from $17 to more than $80 a share in anticipation of the new consoles. Then in 2018, when Fortnite was on the rise, there was another massive run up going from $2 to $32 a share, which would have been well over a 10x if you owned it back then. Now, obviously the stock has come back down from those highs, but in this video, I'll get into why I could see Turtle Beach stock rising to more than $40 once again. So Turtle Beach is about to witness another surge in demand for their products, but at a whole new level because both PlayStation and Xbox both recently released their new gaming consoles just a few months ago in November. So we'll have to wait just a few weeks longer as Sony and Microsoft are both expected to release their Q4 earnings, but I'm expecting it to be a record-breaking quarter in terms of new consoles sold. Now, I did listen to the Q3 earnings call for Turtle Beach, and the CEO made a really good point. In the first 12 hours of the new consoles going on sale, they reportedly sold the same number of consoles within the first 12 weeks back in 2013. So already there's a lot of pent-up demand for these new consoles because it's already been like 6 or 7 years since the last generation ones came out. So a lot of gamers are really eager to update their consoles and probably also update their headsets. Now, as you guys saw in the stock charts, the historical data shows that whenever there are major tailwinds for Turtle Beach or just gaming in general, the stock reacts accordingly. And to be honest, Turtle Beach is already starting to see some strong growth moving into this year. So let's get into the actual business model so you kind of understand what they do, and then we'll get into some of that Q3 growth that I was talking about. Turtle Beach is one of the top players in the $5 billion gaming accessories market, and they have consistently held that top position for over the last decade. They're rapidly growing their award-winning PC gaming keyboards and mice thanks to a recent acquisition that we will get into, but this is also part of their long-term plan to expanding their product portfolio in new console and PC accessory categories. Now, from a high level, they are projecting $330 million in revenue for 2020, which is an increase from the $300 million they previously guided for. They're also expecting $35 million in cash flow and EPS of $1.85, which is very important to the turnaround aspect because this is a company that was recently losing money. And I want you to remember that EPS of $1.85 because that's going to play a major role in their valuation and looking at their forward PE. Now, another part of this turnaround play is the gaming industry itself. As we all know, gaming has just exploded over the last 2 years thanks to people like Ninja who have really made it popular to be a gamer again. Well, scratch that, maybe not as popular as traditional sports, but thanks to services like Twitch, gamers can now connect with an audience that has the same interests as them. The rise of multiplayer games have also made it possible for friends with similar interests to stay in touch with each other. And before I get a bunch of hate comments, I'm actually one of those people. A lot of my friends have moved out of Colorado, and so really the only way for me to stay in touch with them is by playing Xbox, and it's something that I enjoy. We all enjoy doing it, and of course we mainly play Call of Duty, but I just want to get the point across that it is an actual thing that friends do communicate over Xbox, and it's a growing industry, so I don't expect this trend to slow down anytime soon. So as you guys all know, the rise of gaming and esports has been what everybody's been talking about over the last couple of years. By 2024, it's expected that viewership for competitions will exceed 800 million, with revenues finally crossing the $1 billion mark last year in 2020. So this is already a multi-billion dollar industry that Turtle Beach is an established player in. Now, getting back to their dominance and brand reputation, 13 of the top 20 gaming headsets are Turtle Beach, with them owning 3 out of the top 5. They also have over 275,000 points of distribution in 53 countries and have strong partnerships with esports teams and influencers that have massive followings, several of which have millions of followers on various media platforms like YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and even professional NBA players. And that's one of the key things that I wanted to touch on, is the fact that they're using influencers to market their products, because let's be honest, it's 2021. Nobody's running television or newspaper ads or even radio ads because they're just not as effective as either online or influencer marketing. So I love the fact that they're using an effective and cost-efficient way of marketing their products and getting more brand exposure. Now, one of the acquisitions I believe will really be fueling this turnaround is Rocket, which was acquired back in 2019. As I mentioned, Turtle Beach is working on expanding their product portfolio, and they're doing this through the Rocket brand. As you can see, they launched a slew of new keyboards under the Rocket brand, with one of the key features to these keyboards being their new Titan optical switch technology, which registers keystroke responses up to 100 times faster than standard mechanical switches. And as a fellow gamer, I can tell you that's the difference between getting a dub and going back to the lobby. So definitely very important technology that will bring in new customers. So I think that's enough for now to give you a good understanding of their business. Now let's get into their latest quarter and valuation. Now, in their most recent quarterly earnings, they reported net revenue growth of over 140%, which is insane for a company that's expected to shrink revenue by 3% next year. And don't worry, I'll get into that in the next section. Now, gross margins also hit a record 41%, and net income increased to a record $17.8 million, which, to be honest, is already an incredible turnaround from the $3.1 million loss they took in Q3 of 2019. And to top it all off, they are well positioned to continue investing in product expansion with over $27 million of cash and zero short-term and long-term debt on the balance sheet. So as you can see, things are really starting to pick up for them, and I believe this momentum is going to continue into this year and possibly even 2022. So one of the reasons that I like Turtle Beach stock over the next 1 to 2 years is because I do believe that their valuation is pretty attractive. Now, at first glance, it may seem like they're a little overvalued, but keep in mind, that they also have two major tailwinds in their favor, and when you compare them to the other two competitors, they do look a little bit better than them. So they have a price to sales of 1.11, which I know is higher than previous years, but considering the growth I believe they'll see, I actually feel this isn't that bad being this close to a 1-to-1 ratio with their revenue. Now looking at their forward price to earnings ratio, they have a forward PE of 23, which again is higher than some previous quarters, but I actually don't believe this number on Yahoo Finance is that accurate. Let me explain. So earlier in the video, I talked about the updated EPS guidance they gave of $1.85. At the current share price of $25.47, this would be a true forward PE of just 13.77, which would be a massive discount to where they are currently. Now, if we compare these numbers to their two biggest competitors, we can see that Logitech trades at a price to sales of 4, which is 3 times higher than Turtle Beach. And they also trade at a forward PE of almost 27, which is higher than Turtle Beach's 23, as shown on Yahoo Finance at least. Now looking at the last competitor, Corsair Gaming, they traded a price to sales of 2.38, which is respectable, but they also traded a forward PE of almost 27, just like Logitech. So out of these three companies, Turtle Beach is clearly the cheaper stock from a valuation standpoint. And the last and final point I want to make as to why this could be the ultimate turnaround stock is because of none other than the Wall Street analysts. According to Yahoo Finance, they have Turtle Beach actually declining in revenues by almost 3%, which I think Turtle Beach is going to crush. As a matter of fact, I believe they will grow revenue well into the double digits, which means this could be the perfect setup for a company that Wall Street doesn't even see coming. So obviously there's a lot of tailwinds that are in favor of Turtle Beach actually growing in 2021, despite Wall Street analysts thinking that their revenues are going to decline. And on top of that, they also have the two major tailwinds in terms of the work from home environment and also the release of the new Xbox and Sony PlayStation consoles. Now, on top of that, when you just look at the overall trend of gaming has become a lot more popular over the last couple years. If you go back 5 years ago, people probably would have laughed at you if you said you wanted to become a professional gamer. But now you have professionals earning millions of dollars, and it's something that kids growing up will actually see and want to at least explore. Now, I personally believe that the next generation of kids are going to bring in a ton of new gamers thanks to the growing popularity of esports. And if any of you guys are gamers out there, you know for a fact that when you get a new console, or if you have one, a headset is a must-have. It's a non-negotiable. You need to have a headset so that you can either talk trash to the other players or you can talk to your friends. And since Turtle Beach already has dominant market share in the gaming headset space, they're gonna obviously benefit from this, but with the product portfolio expansion into keyboards and mice, I think they're setting up for explosive growth over the next, like I said, 1 to 2 years. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, be sure to let me know down in the comments whether or not you think this could actually be a turnaround stock, and if it's one you'll be adding to your watch list. So thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.